Welcome to this video on DNS in Kubernetes. Today, we'll explore how Kubernetes uses DNS for service discovery, focusing on CoreDNS, which is the DNS server that makes it possible for applications running in a cluster to find and communicate with each other using simple names instead of complex IP addresses. CoreDNS is a flexible and extensible DNS server that acts as the default DNS provider in Kubernetes clusters. It's written in the Go programming language and built on a plugin architecture, which makes it highly customizable. CoreDNS runs as a deployment in the kubesystem namespace, and its primary job is to provide DNS-based service discovery for all resources running in the cluster. This means pods and services can communicate using meaningful names rather than having to remember IP addresses. Let's understand how service discovery works in Kubernetes. CoreDNS continuously watches the Kubernetes API server for any changes to services and pods. When a new service is created in the cluster, CoreDNS automatically detects this change and creates a corresponding DNS record for it. After the DNS record is added, any pod in the cluster can query DNS using the service name, and CoreDNS will resolve it to the correct IP address. This entire process happens automatically without any manual intervention. Kubernetes provides multiple ways to reference a service using DNS. If you're accessing a service from within the same namespace, you can simply use the service name directly. To access a service across different namespaces, you use the format service name.namespace. For the fully qualified domain name, or FQDN, the format is service name.namespace.svc.cluster.local. All three formats will resolve to the same service, but the fully qualified form is the most explicit and unambiguous. Let's look at a practical example. Suppose we have a service named Nginx running in the default namespace. We can access this service using three different DNS names. The short form is simply Nginx. The namespace qualified form is nginx.default, and the fully qualified domain name is nginx.default.svc.cluster.local. All three of these DNS names will resolve to the same cluster IP address assigned to the Nginx service, allowing other pods to communicate with it. In addition to services, individual pods can also get their own DNS records. However, this requires setting the hostname and subdomain fields in the pod specification. When these fields are configured, the pod gets a DNSA or quad record following the format hostname.subdomain.namespace.svc.cluster.local. For example, a pod might be accessible at my-pod.my-service.default.svc.cluster.local. This feature is typically used with stateful sets that use headless services, where you need to address individual pod instances directly. CoreDNS is configured through a config map in the kubesystem namespace. This configuration file is called the Corefile. The Corefile specifies which plugins CoreDNS should use and how they should behave. In this example, we see the Kubernetes plugin that enables integration with the cluster, the pods directive that controls pod DNS records, the forward plugin that sends external queries to upstream DNS servers, and the cache plugin that caches responses for 30 seconds to improve performance. This configuration can be customized based on your cluster's specific requirements. DNS-based service discovery in Kubernetes provides several key benefits. First, DNS records are automatically updated whenever services change, so you don't need to manually track these changes. Second, there's no need to hard-code IP addresses in your application configuration, making deployments more flexible and portable. Third, DNS works seamlessly across different namespaces, allowing services to communicate regardless of where they're deployed. Finally, CoreDNS includes built-in caching mechanisms that improve performance by reducing the number of lookups needed. These benefits make DNS an essential component of Kubernetes networking.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.